Hello, Fredrik.
Hi, Erik. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And you?
I'm great. It's finally summer is coming to Europe, so the mood is better.
Very good. Same here. We have some sunshine in the Netherlands, so life's getting better. Looking forward to spring. Yeah.
So it's a good time to speak with you then, if you're in a good mood.
Yeah, I'm not pretty much always in a good mood, but especially when the sun is shining. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you. Just to make, I'm Fredrik Philipson. I'm co-founder of Readers Compliance, and with me here today I have Erik Hollander, co-founder of LicenseQ. Maybe for people who don't know, who are LicenseQ? Do you want to say a few words, Erik?
Yeah, sure. LicenseQ is an advisory company founded by two ex-Microsoft employees. And we help our clients with their Microsoft challenges.
Okay.
In a nutshell. Yeah.
Very good. And I thought in this interview today, we're going to talk. I'm curious about you, Erik, as the person. I've spoken with you a few times, but I thought like I haven't asked you any personal questions. So let's see who you are.
Sure.
And then we're going to talk a little bit about where you worked before.
Works for me. Yeah.
And as you have started a company and being successful in it, I thought let's talk a little bit about how other people who might be thinking about starting a company, what advice you would give them.
Yeah. So then let me take you back to, I think it was almost 2 years ago from now. I was working at Microsoft, working as a license specialist and negotiator, working with very large global clients from the Netherlands. And for me, it was very challenging with my personality to work at a global corporate company. Microsoft is a very complex organization. It's very political correct. It's corporate, so very challenging to work in. And it came to a point for me where the road the company was going to didn't fit with me as a person. I want to have my own view on things. I want to have my own way of working with clients. And for me, it was time to do another challenge. And as I was becoming 40 in that year, I was on a crossroad. Well, I'm going to be working for a corporate company the rest of my career, or I'm going to work together with Flores, building a company and actually helping clients and doing what I really love is building a company and helping clients with their challenges.
Okay. So you were 40 then. How old are you now?
I'm still 40. I'm getting 41 in September. But for me, it was a point where I was really pushing myself for a choice. I'm going to do a new challenge at a new company, or I'm going to start off my own company. And luckily, we chose to start off the own company. And I can really recommend it to anyone who is at this crossroad by picking a time to go for your own company or work for a company and get your annual salary payment check. It's really liberating. It is very energizing, and you can really do the things you love. So I can really recommend it to everyone who is on that crossroad.
But when you're starting a company, I think there's a lot of people just talking about it, right? I imagine that you were just thinking about, for how many years were you having a dream before you actually took the move? How many years was that?
Well, it was actually when I started at Microsoft, because I used to work as an account manager inside the company, which is also known to you, Fredrik. After that, I worked as a contract manager for the Dutch tax office. So I was negotiating and optimizing Microsoft agreements from client perspective. And then I made the move towards the vendor because I wanted to see all ends of the negotiation table before making the step towards a company. And by having had all those roles, I really think we have the package complete where we can approach the vendor negotiation from a client perspective as well, not having worked only for the vendor but also at the client. So we know the level playing field and are familiar with the challenges clients have, both as well internally as externally towards Microsoft.
So let's talk about your time at Insight. What were you doing there?
It was 2005. I just came. I was finished from my from the university, and I started off as an account manager. I was not familiar to licensing. I was not familiar to software at all. So you were just dropped in a place there with a telephone, a car, and a laptop, and you should manage your own clients. It was just the beginning of licensing and Microsoft Enterprise Agreement. So the market was very immature. There were a lot of LSPs. There was a lot of competition. And it was very, very learnful. And I'm very thankful to that company that they have provided me the opportunity to learn. And it's a great place to learn how IT companies in general work. A very good time. But after 3 or 4 years, I was really fed up with working for a sales company. So I moved towards the Dutch tax office, and that was another role.
Well, these LSPs, and especially these bigger ones where they're getting so much money from Microsoft, and I think for people who don't know, the reseller is not making money on reselling licenses. They're getting money from Microsoft in the back end, right? Can you explain a little how it works? How Microsoft pays their partners.
So it's a very foggy model where you actually have, in most cases, when you are handling with an enterprise agreement or an enterprise subscription agreement, server and cloud enrollment, you are having a negotiation with Microsoft. But in the end, you have to fill in something that's called an LSP, a license partner, on your documents, which actually is not too weird. Microsoft is not able to do the fulfillment of buying and renewing licenses on their own, so they need some help with that. But the partner, they get very well paid for that work. And I must say that in the last few years, Microsoft is declining the partner fees and are awarding partners more on the value they bring towards the client. But value is a very broad word, because in 9 out of 10 times the partner is getting paid on the highest suite they sell. So you get very strange situations where in the past the LSP was an advisory company towards the client, and now they're more of a technology partner where they are pushing the clients towards a suite like M365 E5, where everything is included into one bundle. But 9 out of 10 clients do not use the full functionality. So there's quite a money struggle there, where partners are awarded by the highest suite, and clients do not always benefit from buying the highest suite. So you get very strange situations, and all LSPs are now trying to reinvent themselves and to see how they can develop in the market. But it's a struggle for all of them. And I anticipate that the market will change a lot. Yeah.
Even though I worked at one of these big LSPs, I'm not quite sure. So what happened is that, the end customer signs the agreement with Microsoft, but Microsoft then pays in the back end, they pay a lot of money to the licensing partner that the end customer doesn't see.
Correct.
Why do they pay that money? Why, and how much are we talking about? How much money can it be?
Yeah, good question, and it really depends. So on average, and it's changing as we speak, because every year the partner model is revised in October. But for instance, for this year, depending on the level, depending on the product you buy, it's between 0 and 8%. kickback a partner gets. So yeah, when it's 8%, it could be quite substantial, especially when you have a multi-million dollar or euro contract. Yeah, those LSPs get paid a lot of money for actually doing not too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we always try to to provide clarity on that towards clients. If they're okay with that, we're fine. But we just want to provide clarity on how the model and the fee structures work. Yeah.
I've heard information that some of these larger, up to 70 to 80% of their gross profit, their LSPs, is coming from Microsoft.
Yeah, that's not even a rumor. That's a fact. So they're fully depending on Microsoft. And I think it was already 10 years ago that they were trying to move away with from that. But there is such a dependency from Microsoft. It's just it's not healthy for those companies. So if Microsoft is pulling back some of the fees, which they are doing now, it has great impact for those companies because they have a lot of people on board, a lot of paychecks to be paid, and in the end, the value of those partners, they try to bring a lot of value to it, but yeah, you can really question what the value is for the average customer.
When you say I want to follow up here, paycheck. So there's stories or information that instead of Microsoft hiring salespeople on Microsoft payroll, they're then giving money to the partners so they can hire people that are selling Microsoft for them and that they are actually working at. So they look like they're employee by the reseller.
Yeah.
But essentially, it is Microsoft that's paying the salary for them.
Yeah, that's correct. And I think they have canceled that program now. But there was even a time where the role that Floris and I did, so the negotiating and licensing specialist role, they called it LSS. And then they had the partner LSS. So there was just P in front of it. And then the job was executed by the partner. So that was even more strange, where the partner didn't have too much empowerment, so they couldn't provide any high discounts or something like that. But they were able to process certain contract amendments. So that story is true.
When you hear about these things, that 80% of the gross profit is coming from Microsoft, basically, how can anyone ever think that they can be independent?
Yeah, good question, Fredrik. What we see is that, I think 9 out of the 10 clients are often not aware of it. And in addition to that, they're not only aware of it, they often have a relationship with them. And the most of the LSPs are very large, global, substantial companies. So it's always very, whether it's true or not, it's very safe to do business with a global company for large companies. But you can ask yourself if that's really the case.
I'll tell you a story. When I was working at one of these, there was an account manager for one large account.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was his customer was about to negotiate EA Microsoft Enterprise Agreement renewal. I guess it was a few months before, in the middle of that. Then I could see he or she was sitting on Skype, Skype.
Mm-hmm.
Just chatting and sharing information with the Microsoft person. And I remember I was fairly new at that. I was like, wow, I was shocked. Is this even appropriate?
Yeah, we know for a fact that it's true. And we even had a very recent case with the client where we were negotiating on behalf of the client with Microsoft, and the client instructed the partner not to communicate with Microsoft. But yeah, Microsoft by accident was very transparent, and they said, well, all the information we have now from your negotiation, we have received it from your partner. So it happens. And in the end, the person who pays the check and the money, he or she decides. So yeah, 9 out of 10 times it's Microsoft. So we always say it's a nice word, partner, but you really should be very careful with that, especially when you are making decisions that have financial impact for your organization. Just be very careful how a partnership looks like.
I think, yes, sure, they've signed an NDA with the companies, but I think advice we can give, if you agree with me, is, yeah, you might have a licensing partner, but some information you cannot share with them. You should not share with them, even if you have signed an NDA.
Mm-hmm.
Because many people, I think, might not respect it, or I know for a fact many people didn't even know what an NDA was at these licensing partners.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Please continue. No, please continue, Fredrik.
Okay, I'm a bit curious. What do you like to do in your spare time?
In my spare time, so I live in the east of the Netherlands, which is it's surrounded by forests. So when I'm not working, I usually try to be as much as I can in the forests. I run there. I mountain bike a lot. That's the most thing I do in my free time, especially now with COVID. That's wonderful to do here. And in addition, I love to travel, but that's a bit hard now with COVID. So I love to travel around the world and see new places. I live with my family here in a farmhouse in the east of the Netherlands. I have a little son, which is 3-year old. Yeah, so that's what I do in my free time.
Okay, what makes you angry?
What makes me angry? I'm looking for the English word here. What makes me angry and that applies for all in my life, but if someone or a client is entitled to something and she or he doesn't get it. So I really want to be a straightforward guy and expect everyone which I do business with to be straightforward as well. And nowadays, I think that's a cultural thing. It's a bit changing. Not everything is what you see is what you get, and that's who I am. And for me personally, it's a bit frustrating.
Okay, and what if you would say, what's your passion in life?
My passion in life is actually running this company. I really love it. I love to help clients. I get very energized when we are helping clients to get a good negotiation result. I love it when clients are excited about the services we provide. That really gets me energized. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think if you're starting a company, if someone is listening now, do you think they should be specializing in one vendor, or should they be a generalist?
Depending on your skills. So to be honest, Floris and I, we have always been worked with Microsoft. So it would be very weird for me to become an Oracle specialist right now, and I would be feeling too comfortable with that. We have other guys for that, huh? But if you have the expertise and you're building it up, I think it could be very good, especially when you are operating in the cloud market, to have a multi-vendor approach. But then again, if you are, it really depends on who you are as a person. Because if you're running a specialty, you can also develop that and grow your business just with a niche market in it.
Okay. So I know you're doing well, and that, because I think there's they say that 90% of all startups fail, right? So congrats to making it. I'm curious, can you name one mistake that you've done, and maybe something that you think people should avoid if they're thinking about following in your footsteps?
Yeah, it's partnerships. So you should be very careful with that, because we have a network of our own, and partners, they have quite a substantial network. But in this market, when you are working with the partner, they are providing a potential lead to you, or they're trying to sell your service as well. 9 out of 10 times, it costs you a lot of time, and in the end, it doesn't get any result. So we have made we've made some wrong decisions in working with with not the right partners.
Can you give some example of this, just without naming names?
Yeah, so we worked with some guys that are having their own advisory companies as well, such as yourself and ourselves, and that we're trying to set up a branch as well. But in the end, they were really talking with everyone, so also with our direct competition, and it was very hard for us to know what was going on, and in the end, it really costed us a lot of time and material to invest in that relationship, which initially went quite well, but then for some reason it didn't. So yeah, that was for us the point where we said we're going to work with partners, but only the one where we have a good feeling of, and where which doesn't cost us a lot of time.
So, okay, if I got it correctly, you were working with a firm that was, maybe going to give you leads, but they were also going to other Microsoft advisory firms and getting, competition quotes.
Correct. Yeah.
But that's not a partnership. That's almost like a customer relationship, I think.
Yeah. Correct, and that's what I mean it with the other conversation, well, with the LSP discussion. Partnership. What is partnership? In our negotiations with Microsoft, they always tend to position themselves as a partner towards the client. But what is partnership actually? My personal opinion is that partnership is where you have a mutual benefit and a mutual interest, and both parties can benefit from that. But it should not be a one-way traffic street where you just only you get stuck in. It really should come from two parties, two ways. That's partnership, building together towards something and both benefiting from it.
Yeah, because I think if you're a small company and you're working with other small companies, I think it's okay if that firm that you talked about would say, yeah, but just so you know, we're asking other people for prices as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're too small, and a good partner is where you work together and then you together win or lose, right? That you either win together or you lose together. It's not that you jump ship for someone else if it's a cheaper price. Then it's not a partner, I think, or at least not a partner that you should spend time on.
Correct. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah. It's just about being transparent and honest and straightforward. That usually works for us. We understand that we are not the only company in the world. We're very we're very relaxed about that. But that's just the way it works, unfortunately. Yeah.
Okay, so that was a mistake. What have you done that you think what has been the most important factor in your success?
Yeah, perhaps this sounds a little bit cheesy, but just being yourself, that's the most important thing when you are running your business. Because within a company, you're more or less pushed to be someone you perhaps not are. But within this company, I can really be myself. I can have my own opinion. I can say what I want. I don't have to ask my boss if it's okay to do my work in that way or another way. And that's your success. Just be sincere and bring value, and you will be successful. That's my that's the way how I feel about it.
So, but I think if you have had as you told earlier, you worked at a reseller, you worked at an end customer, and then you worked at the vendor.
Correct.
I think because you have learned things from all different employers, I would assume. In order to succeed starting a company, I think it's important to know more than I don't think you can succeed if you're just a Microsoft licensing person and just know the licensing. I don't think you're going to succeed. What do you think?
I agree. So there are a lot of persons who know about Microsoft licensing, but you do need to have other insights as well. You need to understand how a client thinks and works and operate. And you need to have that insight as well in order to be successful in your approach, in your analysis, in your optimization, in your conversations and negotiations with Microsoft. If you don't have that, it's very hard to do that work as well. You need to have some insights and need to know how politics work within an organization in order to be successful. So in my time at the Dutch tax office, it couldn't get more political than that. I learned from that how to be successful working for the Dutch government and being commercial as well, negotiating with Microsoft.
When you started License Q, how many months? Because I assume that you have had a budget for how many months you're going to try this out. At least that's what I did, right? How many months did you do it? How many months of sort of financial savings did you have saved for this attempt?
Not too much. 6 months. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was it then? Just waking up one day and now you're here, right?
It was very scary because I always had the feeling we would be successful when we initially started it. But we started off in the decision in January 2020. And then the first announcement about COVID came out. And then we were scared. Well, the economy is going to break down and we're not going to have any work. But to be honest, Floris was very relaxed, and he assured me, well, we're just going to do our thing, and we're going to just start off the company. And whether we do it now or 5 years later, it doesn't matter. We're just going to do it, and we will see where we strength. So we just did that. But it was, to be honest, it was a bit scary having 6 months of budget ahead to pay off for your mortgage, and then But in the end, it turned out well for us. So very happy with that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what? Let's say because I know that before we started, you said, "Oh, we need to hire people." And just let's not talk about any specific role, but what kind of people would you want to hire, personality-wise?
Personality-wise, authentic people. Authentic people with with a healthy brain. We don't look for people that have diplomas or went to university. We just need people that we think that have the right energy, the right mindset, and the right knowledge to support us. That's the way we want to be as a company. We want to bring best-in-class consulting, and that comes with the mindset. It's not only the diploma you have, because I know a lot of people with high grades that couldn't do too much in this world. So we really are looking for the right mindset. That's really I think the main characteristic that an employee should have. Yeah.
So I'm in a few weeks. I'm going to do a show on this channel called Undeniable, and we're going to talk about top 5 Microsoft consultants. I'm just a bit curious because you guys, License Q, is the only firm that is actually making any advisory videos Microsoft. I'm just curious, who else are there out there?
They're doing the same videos as we are in a way
Yeah,
where
who's your competitors really? Because I don't see them, right? Who are they?
yeah, we do have some competitors in the Netherlands and international as well. So I think that would be the largest company is Livingston, based in the UK.
Livingstone. Someone said they were calling them Livingstones because there was
Livingstone, yeah, yeah. We had some rumors there as well, yeah, that people are leaving that company. But again, that company is also being a very large company, and I think that's in the end where all people that are involved in the very small work that we operate in, you want to have fun in the things you do. You don't want to be bossed around in a corporate company. I think that's the main thing with all those companies, that they're just being too big.
Why? Okay, so let's say you mentioned, what's it called, Livingstones, or yeah. Why would you? Why do? If I would be a customer, why should I go to you guys and not them?
Of course, we know some stories, and we know that they have good consultants in their team. But where we go the extra mile is being fully transparent and maximize all transparency in our business model, in the business model of the client, and the business model of the partner. Where we often see that in this world where you are negotiating, there's so much money streams that customers are not always aware of that. And what we do in our consultancy is not only making the optimization, the analysis, and support them towards the negotiation, but also make an overview of how the money streams go. And that's very interesting for clients to see when you are negotiating. Because in the end, I think as a client, you want know the whole story and not part of it. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's why we really are different than the other companies. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think at least if I would be the customer, at least this is sort of and I think you touched on it before, that it's good to think in a customer mindset. And I think the big benefit of going to you guys, as you seem like a real guy, authentic guy, it seems like here, but that you don't get this corporate crap, if I can call it like that.
Yeah, that's indeed. You get no marketing. You just get good advice, optimization results, and real information. Not, no fake news. Yeah. So yeah, that's why we are different. And we have seen that every client we have served in the past year has followed up, towards new work for us. So we are very happy with that.
Do you think, because there have been some acquisitions in the market and some companies going under, do you think there's a new generation, and are you part of that new generation of companies providing licensing services? Because there used to be the first generation of the companies that started first, right? And they succeeded, or they went under, or went acquired, but that was like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's popping up a lot of new interesting companies like yours. And is there a new generation? What is your thinking about that?
Yeah, I think so, because the way we all operate now is different. And also because of COVID, we initially had a plan how to develop our company. But to be honest, we drastically modified that plan, and being an online company. So initially focused on the Dutch market, but we're now doing that globally. So coming back to your questions, are there coming up new companies that are working in another way? Yes, they will, because the old way of working, it doesn't apply anymore. It doesn't have to do with a big office with a large logo on it, but it has to do with the value you bring in order to help your clients. And whether you are doing that from a house in the east of the Netherlands, or you're doing it in Sweden or on a tropical island, it doesn't matter. You really need to bring the value from your company, and that's the value of your company, not having the office, not having a lot of people in it, but just bring value. That will be, for the next 10 years, I promise you, that will be the key differentiator for a lot of companies.
I'm interested in your opinion on this YouTube thing and social media.
Yeah.
I just reflected on something that I have a TV at home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm the only one watching it, and it's usually CNN. But I have a stepson and a wife. They're all watching YouTube, and when you see that my old employers, they have, it's like often maybe 50, 60-year-old people who are not in tune. And then when I reflected on my wife and stepson watching YouTube, well, it's the buyers of the future. They are, I think you said you're 40, I'm 42. So people are younger than us are buyers. They're more used to watching YouTube. Do you think that it's going to get more content on YouTube than it is today? Do you think that's going to impact who the future?
Definitely. So if I look into my 3-year-old son, if he watch any video or media, it's YouTube. It's so kids and also people one generation before us, they watch everything online. They do everything online. They study online by watching videos, using videos. So I feel that's that's the key for the next 10 years at least. So yeah. And to be honest, you inspired us as well, because that was the reason I initially reached out to you, because I was very inspired by the way you are doing it with the videos, and I really think that's a very smart approach, because with the knowledge we bring towards our clients, not every client has budget or is willing to pay for the services, and by doing the videos we can help them and educate them to do it on their own. So that really inspired me to adjust the initial plan we had, and we know for a fact that this is working, so we are further developing it, and we will run more and more online content in the near future.
Where if you have a 5-year plan, I'm not quite sure if you have, but where would you want to see yourself in 5 years? Do you hope to be bought up or acquired, or what do you think? Where do you see yourself?
No, we were just having this discussion a few weeks ago, and what we want to do is we want to grow our company with having best-in-class consultants, and we don't want to have a company with hierarchy. We want to have consultants, and consultants are running this company. So we were all the same people, and we want to grow. Let's say in 5 years, I anticipate we have 15, 20 people joining License and helping us with the same challenges we are doing now. We are also further developing our services, and I think cloud optimization will be more and more a topic towards the future, and especially in parts of the world that are now adapting to cloud. They really need help in their challenges. So that's where I think we will stand in 5 years.
Okay. And if it fails, or where are you going to go and work then? What are you going to do?
We won't fail.
Okay. I mean, it's good. I heard, I probably told this name, Tony Robbins, the motivational speaker.
Yeah.
He said something, he has a quote and says, if you go to the island, you need to burn the boat. Because if you burn the boat, you're more likely to succeed.
Yeah. Now that's the same for me. I couldn't adapt anymore to work in a corporate company. No, that would be not a very good idea for myself. No. So this is the way to go, and I'm very sure we'll be very successful in the coming years. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't have any more questions, but it was great talking with you as always, Erik.
Thanks, Fredrik. Yeah. Same. Likewise. Yeah.
Yeah, and I wish all the viewers a great weekend, and see you all soon.
Thank you all. Enjoy your day.